just try to see if I can get this thing up.
Okay.
So welcome back. Sorry, I said get out and talk, and that seems to always interrupt. Today, as we have said, and with Philip, what we're going to be talking now is the life of the liturgy. This is what you have been missing out more. Actually, is the fact that you've just been watching it at home. So it's quite important, I think, that you understand the preparation. We will go through the services as they are for the day. We will break those down for you. But today, what we've done with Kyriacos, he's come to explain to us and help you understand what the things the priest and the people that help the priest, what they wear and why we wear it. Because in a way it's like a uniform, isn't it, Kyriacos? It's like a uniform that everything, when you go to school you wear a uniform to be identified. We do the same thing in the church so that people feel safe, that they recognize what there is wearing. So it'd be nice. So if you want to, while I find this, Kyriacos, if you explain a little thing, and then I kind of...
Okay, so I'll start with my personal journey to church. So when I was a younger child, I was about 9-10 years old, and I started working out in the altar. Now the first set of vestments we're going to talk about is the vestment of the altar server. Now, I'll just hold them up so you can see them. Every church has a different set, but these are the ones that we wear. Now, they're white. Hopefully you can see. They're a white set of vestments. Now, what's important about these is that we wear white because when we put these on, it's like a set of baptism clothes. So we're talking about white and purity. Now, just like your baptism, something that happens when it's called ordained, an altar server, you have a little haircut by the archbishop or the bishop who ordained you. And
would it be called an ordination really at this stage?
No, it wouldn't.
No, it's okay. No, you're correct, because some of the practices are the same. Kyriacos making an observation, but these are called. So these are blessings of authority. In other words, recognition. So up to the degree of a subdeacon, this is how the church, the bishop, announces to the congregation that this person has been given authority by the bishop to either be a church warden, even to be a chanter, or even to assist in the altar. Because one of the confusing things, Kyriacos, isn't it, that people think just because you're a boy you can really come into the altar, but it's not necessarily the point. It's not correct. The correct thing is only the people that really the bishop has met and has been recommended by the parish that they will serve respectfully. And all of them, when the archbishop is present or a bishop is present, he will do a small reading and, like you said, cut a little bit of the hair, which is why it seems a little bit like an ordination. But yes, that's what we would be doing.
And another vestment that is worn, which is the vestment worn by the chanters, generally is a black vestment with a red stripe on here as well. So that's the vestment of the choir as well, the chant of the church. Now, is it okay by there?
I can't see it on my one, it's not coming through. You see on your phone. Sorry about this, it's just to make sure that it's coming across, because if we're going to be getting, it hasn't come across onto mine.
But let's move it this way.
Move it where? Is that better? There's a little bit of a delay, there will be a little bit of delay. Yeah. So if I stand, that's there. So that's there, and then I can get dressed there and people can see. Okay. Alright, sorry we're back, folks. It's like live TV. This is what happens at live TV. So what we're going to do now is there is a process in the morning when the priest comes into church that we start the service, which is called matins. In Greek it's called orthros, and during that, afterwards, he will get dressed. And you will see sometimes in some churches in Greece or Cyprus, you will see that the bishop gets dressed in this way, that the clothes come outside and he gets dressed like this in front of the people. Or you will see in some churches, depending on that, the bishop will be here, part of matins, and then we do something which is Geron, which means that we take time for preparation. We say certain prayers outside and we venerate the icon screens and we say the appropriate small hymns for each icon. We will go in and you will see that sometimes they close the doors and they close the curtain as the bishop or the priest gets dressed. And for every item that we put on, there is a specific prayer. So what we'll do is Kyriacos will explain the item, as you can see them, and I will do the prayer and I will wear them as I do before I do the service. Okay?
So the first item of clothing Father Chris will wear is called the stipadium. Now it's a white vestment, just like the ones that the altar servers would wear.
You can, so this is what an altar server would wear.
Okay, so this is the one I'm going to wear for the period of this lesson.
But what happens first?
Well, the first thing is you always, before you put on any vestment, is you take a blessing from the priest of the church.
So we will bless in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, so that the person obviously focuses and realizes that they've taken on a big responsibility to help within the altar, because the people see what we're doing, and obviously they see some of the mysteries of the liturgy. So they kind of, with this uniform, it's kind of, in a way, it's kind of saying, even though I'm not more special than anybody out there, I've taken the time to maybe do a prayer or come a little bit earlier or do things. So this kind of shows what we would say maybe a commitment to serve people.
I was going to say, for me, it's more not the solemnity, but the importance of the role within the church. It's just something for me to remind myself. Because if I was sat there in, say, my trousers and my shoes and my shirt, my temptation is to stick my hands in my pocket. The temptation is just to do something when we're sitting there, when we're not, because we're not always doing something. Sometimes we're just praying. Having something like this on helps me get in the right mindset for the job, the way I'm serving the church. The same with the black castle. When I'm wearing that, I'm chanting that service, it helps me get into the role of the importance of the role that I'm taking within the church.
So, as Kyriacos was just explaining, the altar helper, the subdeacon, the deacon will have the same naming item, but they have it as a thicker outer garment. That is your actual outer garment.
Uniform.
It's just the one piece. So the priest, as Kyriacos will explain, is the same, but it's just not the only garment that they wear. So there's a difference in what Kyriacos would be different.
This is the thickness of the material.
The thickness of the material. So you will see that this is very thick because it is like this, very thick. But you will see that this is much thinner because it is for us not the outer garment, but the one of many, and it's probably more the inner garment. So did we finish? Did you explain that?
Yeah, so just like with my one, it's white to represent the baptismal garment that we wear after baptism, which is generally white. The priest will generally put this on underneath, and it will be the first stage of him getting dressed.
So, as we said, there is a prayer for everything that we wear. So in the same way as Kyriacos asked for his item to be blessed, we bless everything that we wear. So we would do our cross, we will bless it to show that it is holy, and we will kiss, because most items you will see will have a cross on them. So we will kiss it, and then we would wear it. Now, as we're wearing it, or before we wear it, we read the prayer. So the prayer for this sticharion for a priest is read with this prayer. My soul will rejoice in the Lord, for he has clothed me with a garment of salvation and wrapped me in a robe of gladness. He has placed a crown on my head as on a bridegroom, and adorned me with beauty as a bride. So we are saying that really, like Kyriacos said, because you said to them, did you, Kyriacos, that this is what represents our baptismal garment. This is what we will be wearing. I think he says when the wedding, I think at the 10, he talks about, in some of the hymns, we talk about wearing the wedding garment. And for us, it is our state of baptism. And this is why we will enter into heaven with our body looking different to what it looks like now. So we would put this on like this. So as you can see, it's very similar. It's just the thickness, because this is an outer garment, and for me this is an inner garment. Now, obviously all these floppy bits have to be tidied up, so we would normally do it like this, and then you'll see why we have to make this arm a little bit more tighter, because you will see that there is something else that has to be worn. This feels a little bit like in the olden times, medieval times, when people used to have to get dressed for battle. And maybe it is the battle of our own sins, and the battle of serving correctly and defending, and the community. So this is what we look like at the first bit.
Now some altar servers may also wear a belt. Not all altar servers. Some altar servers will also wear a belt. It's just, that's the preference of the church, the priest. And we're going to talk about the priest belt, and we're going to talk about why we wear that in a minute.
Okay. So the next item, which would be what, Kyriacos? Would I wear next? Yeah.
So the epidachilion is like a, Father Chris will show you now. It's something that goes over the neck. Now, what it is, it's something that every priest has to wear when they do what's called the 7 sacraments of Orthodoxy. Now, the deacon will also, when you become a deacon, the first thing you get is a epidachilion, which is a really, really long, oralion, and it's just a single cloth, single line, and that will get wrapped around.
So it's, unfortunately we haven't got one to show you today, but you might be able to, with your own families, Google and see it for yourself. But it's literally this item, and you see that sometimes the Church of England have it without the coming together in the middle. It doesn't come together in the middle. They just wear it and they put it around them. So for it's like this, and then
So when you become a priest, you get this one. And the priest has to wear this every time they do one of the 7 sacraments, which are the Holy Liturgy, Confession, Baptism, weddings, funerals, Holy Unction, and the last one I've forgotten.
Did you say the liturgy?
Yes, the liturgy, and I'll get back to that one. I've done 7.
Yeah.
I've done 7.
But we do wear this every time. Really, we do something representing a prayer side. So, for example, it's not. There is services that are not sacramental. For example, supplication services, which we call paraklesis, and you will see that we will wear this. So it's kind of part of the power of God. Someone else had something similar, and it was the power of God was in something quite long. It wasn't a material, it was a stick. What was his name? That really Moses. He took a lot of people out from Egypt, and he had to go over a lot of deserts and seas and stuff. And it was Moses. So we read again, as I said, a prayer. So you will see, I don't know if you can see from that far, but there is a cross here, and we will obviously bless what we're wearing, kiss the cross, and we will put it on. And there is a prayer which says, "Blessed is God who pours his grace upon his priest, as myrrh upon the head, which ran down upon the beard of Aaron's beard, and ran down to the collar of his robe." So for this, in a way, like Kyriacos was saying, the importance, because of the sacraments of the church, that we see that we have been given the power of our living God, Jesus Christ, in this item of clothing. The next is the cuffs. Yeah.
Okay, so the next item of clothing is a set of cuffs that the priest will wear.
Oh no, sorry, it's the belt.
zoni.
Yeah, the zoni is next. Yeah.
The zoni will come next. Now the zoni, or belt, goes around the waist of the priest, and what this is to represent is to represent the obedience. It's almost like a restrictor to, I think, again, it's like to show your obedience to Christ, to God, to show that what you're doing is for him.
It's to, and maybe controlling our own will and remind us, because we are meant to do it quite tight, and it feels quite secure as well. You feel that you are protected by God's grace and power. So again, as you can see, there is a cross. We bless the item, we venerate it, and we say, "Blessed is God who girds me with power and has made my way blameless." So we seem to then put it like this. We normally take a little bit of a deep breath. These are just practical things. So when we breathe out, it kind of tightens to its natural kind of our own waistlines. So far, this is how I would look at this stage of getting ready.
Okay, the next item of clothing are the cups. Now, it's an interesting thing that Father Chris and I were talking about earlier, that the reason why the priests will wear cups is to show that they are not enslaved, but they're almost servants of God. So that they are reminded constantly that because they've got the cuffs on, almost like a slave would do, that they're servants of God. Now, also, in Egyptian times, in ancient times, royalty would also wear cuffs. So it's quite interesting how you can see the priest as being both a servant of God, but also it's a mark of royalty as well, wearing cuffs. So there are two interpretations of the same item of clothing.
It might not be appropriate, but to kind of understand, you will see in the film Wonder Woman that her power was in her cuffs. It wasn't in her. She had these cuffs that defended her and allowed her to defend others. So you will see that, yes, these cuffs are the symbol of power and of identity. We have obviously given ourselves up to our royal status. I think Kyriacos was going to explain before the potential of our sainthood. So again, it's got a cross, we bless it, and before we put it on, we do the right hand first. Your right hand, Lord, has been glorified in strength. and your right hand, Lord, has shattered enemies. By the greatness of the glory, you have crushed the adversaries. So we will put it on, obviously, because we have to do physical things in the liturgy. We have to make sure that all these items are quite tightly and tidy, because we can't have any loose items as we serve the Holy Liturgy. So that would look like this. Then we have the left one, which we will bless again as a cross. Your hands have made me and fashioned me. Give me understanding, and I will learn your commandments. So we have asked for the power of God to come through our right hand, because you will hear a lot of the right hand. The Father sits at the right hand. The prodigal son was given a ring on the right hand. You will see if you get married, they put your ring on your right hand, and the wedding talks about this is the power, and this is to show us that God made us. So in our humility and obedience, we're asked to give us the ability to do and learn from his commandments. So we are ready to serve in power and obedience and humility to the people, because we are representing you. We represent you. We can't do this for ourselves. So we are at this stage now. Oh yeah, this would have been worn at a different. This is normally worn before we do the Bedrahili. So these are two maybe items not that every priest would wear. Every bishop would wear it, and normally every priest monk have these items automatically, and these are given to priests that may be. It sounds like a little bit of a medal or a reward system, but it's not really fair like that, because there is many things that I've done. So this is sometimes given to encourage or to support, or especially if you hear confessions, you might be given these items so that people then identify that that's what that priest can do. So all these items are to help you to be able to identify by just what someone is wearing and how someone looks, how they can be approached, or you can have confidence that they have been recognized by the diocese, that they can then serve whatever requirement you have. So this you probably might see more if the person hears confessions. If the priest is given the blessing to hear confessions, you will see normally they come with these two extra items here, Ipogonadion and the Holy Cross. We have our own personal cross that we wear like all of us, but this will normally come if the church wants to really give the confidence to the people and the identity that you will be able to hear confessions. So this item, Ipogonadion, which is what did you say this was, Kyriacos, for the thing for us? How did they explain it?
So in some traditions, this is seen as almost the sword of Christ, that you are, as a priest, you're a warrior of the faith in terms of protecting it and making sure that when people practice it, they practice it in the correct way. So it's almost a metaphorical spiritual sword. You're as a priest, you're one of the warriors of Christ, ensuring that you are protecting almost the people who come into the church. You are a protector of them, as well as being someone who practices religion. Your role within the church is to protect them spiritually.
And which is why, when again there's a cross, again it's blessed, again we venerate, and you will hear the prayer for this. Gird your sword on thy thigh, O powerful one, in your beauty and splendor, and bend and bow and prosper and reign, for the sake of truth and meekness and justice, and your right hand will guide you wondrously. So you will see exactly like Kyriacos has explained, but in the early church, this was given to a priest that they would call an ikonomos. Ikonomos probably means like a chancellor, one that could be trusted with the economy of the church. So before it wasn't a flat, like a biscuit kind of thing. It was actually a zipped purse. And what they would do, they would be the trusted ones that would go around with the bishop, and any funds given to the bishop or any funds collected would be put into this purse, and he would be the holder of the purse. And they know as ikonomos, so that means they are trusted by the church. So this would symbolize, obviously, as Kyriacos said, the sword, and in some traditions and in others it will kind of be representing this, as we said before, trusting that the diocese, the bishop, has recognized that priest to be able to support people in hearing their confessions. But normally that will go before I put my bedrachili, just because it kind of contains this string to be away, so it's not loose to get in the way when we're serving the liturgy.
The last piece, part of the last section of the priest of the time is called the Velani. Now, this is the most outer bit of the thing of the priest's vestment. Now, I'm going to take Father Chris's analogy earlier. And he mentioned it's the priest's protective equipment when he serves as the priest. It will go outermost, and it's to protect himself from the wrongdoer, because as a priest you are allowed to enter certain parts of the churches that no other person is allowed to enter. Now the reason why is because of, as people, we have sin. It's a natural thing that happens, and it's something that we're all aware of. Now it protects ourselves and in our kind of our humanity from the altar, from the awesome holiness of the altar is somewhere that normal people really shouldn't be going. And actually, as a priest, you still are a normal person underneath, but when you wear the vestments of the priesthood, it protects you from, protects you.
It's kind of this, so it's not a superhero cape, but it's what we were saying before, maybe it's our PPE, our protective personal equipment in front of the altar. Sometimes you will see that people will say, oh no, you're not allowed to walk through there, and if you walk through there is some cultural superstitions that they say, oh, you have to become a priest if a baby or something does something. You will see as well that priests don't use that space disrespectfully. We're not meant to just be moving around and walking. If we're going to go from one side to the other side of the altar, for example, we don't go across there we go around. We never go in front, because here what Kyriacos is trying to explain is that the Holy Spirit is described as a fire. So as the fire comes down, we need to have fire protective equipment. And for us, because we are sinners, if not the greatest of sinners, because we are human, as is our congregation, we protect ourselves from this fire, because not even the angels, do you believe that, Kyriacos? Not even the angels, it says in the liturgy how actually they're a little bit jealous of, or they sit there in awe, and they are envious of the fact, not of our creation, but the fact that we can stand somewhere that only Christ can stand, because he is the high priest. There is only one priest really in our church, the high priest, and we represent that in apostolic succession. So again, we would cross it, we would venerate it, and then we say, your priests, Lord, will clothe themselves with righteousness, and your holy ones will rejoice with gladness. So you can see that sometimes the prayers explain the representation of everything that we put on.
And one more thing I forgot to mention earlier is the outermost vestment of what a priest wears represented the cloak that was put on Christ during his trials and crucifixion. So it's to remind priests about the role that they're facing, that they are almost not representing Christ, but acting as a bridge kind of between humanity and through the Holy Spirit to allow us to get holy, to allow us during the liturgy for the Holy Spirit to come down. It's to resemble the sacrifice that Christ had to go through to allow us to have our religion in a way, for us to be saved as humanity, as sinners, is something that he wears in.
And you will see that when we go into the liturgy, when we will slowly be explaining the journey of the liturgy, you will hear that it represents, even when the other items, and it will show you how we take on ourselves even the stone. We wear the aeran, we will show you eventually, is the stone that was put in front of the tomb of Christ. So everything does have its reason for it, and it is not just a fancy dress party. I know they have elaborate designs, and we can choose different colours, but even the colours have meaning to them, and we will get to those eventually in other lessons. You will see that. So hopefully what we're trying to get to you in this simple way today, we haven't gone very, very deep, but in this kind of simple way, so at least you could identify, maybe hear today more the names of each item, and rather than the really big theology of each item, so that you can understand its name and its purpose. And then you will see that when you come back to the churches, you will slowly understand that even the way you are in the liturgy makes a big difference in your participation. You know, when we probably say that it's probably nice not to talk in the services, this is the importance really, because there is things, really real things happening. They're invisible, but actually they are happening. So for this reason, it's quite good that we have this opportunity. There is a cross that is given to everyone, especially at baptism, and it is a representation. It's the same thing that we say at baptism. If anyone wishes to come after me, let him deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me. So really you will see that again, this is to say that we have accepted the calling of the church to represent it, and the responsibility that we have been given in recognition by the church. And again, this kind of just gives you the opportunity to understand the responsibilities of that ordained priest within the church. So then we will put this. So really now, this is how I would look normally now on every liturgy that I would serve. This is how I would end up looking. Okay?
Okay. One more thing before we go. Obviously, tomorrow is the celebration of St. Constantine and St. Helen. I have made a video, I'm really happy, I made a video with Father George, specifically about our cross, and about why we do our cross, and what doing our cross means when we do our cross as Orthodox Christians, and what the cross symbolises. So that's the lesson that's coming tomorrow, and that's it.
Okay.
And I'll be doing a lesson actually about St. Constantine as well.
Good. And the Archbishop's going to be there tomorrow, isn't he?
Yeah, the Archbishop is going to be there.
So, which is a very extra blessing. And then maybe you will see a few extra items that we didn't mention today that an Archbishop wears. So what we might do is we can send you either the link or something that then you can put up these different, because I'm sure there is images of an altar server, a chanter, a subdeacon, a deacon, and a presbyter, the hiero monks, and then you have obviously our bishops, the hierarchy of our church as well. So you will see that maybe we can organise that for you, and then you can identify yourselves. Or we should actually do a quiz one day, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
Maybe we might do a quiz.
A Zoom quiz.
A Zoom quiz, yeah. We will do that, and maybe we will have a pop-up person to say the thing. So yeah, maybe we do you a quiz actually one day after we've finished each section. So it's exciting things to come. So you will learn about the cross and about the great saints Constantine and Helen tomorrow. And on Friday we will carry on reading our book about Saint Nectarios. And at the moment we only know him as Athanasios because he's still a young boy and not yet ordained. Thank you, Kyriacos. I'm just going to